Hello, and welcome back to Cecil TV's 30 at 6. I'm Alison Donnelly, and today is Monday, April 30th.
And I'm Rob Churnside, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to see a little bit of a hint of spring coming at us.
I think it's more than a hint at this point. I think it's spring.
Maybe even instant summer.
Maybe.
Time to get rid of the old scraper, but don't lose it. But winter will be here again before we know it.
Yes, but not before, hopefully not before the garden market this Saturday at St. Mary Ann's. It's Friday and Saturday, and Cecil TV will be there with our booth. Come say hello, check out our awesome new banners, and we'll have a photo booth so you can be part of the news.
Part of our news team.
Right.
And document it. That'll be cool, especially for the kids.
Exactly. You've got some things coming up this week.
Yeah, well, I want to remind everybody that Paws for Life is having their 5K fundraiser down at Chesapeake City Way Saturday morning. Check their website. You could probably still register and run. People can run with their dogs. And there's a prize for the fastest team of runner and dog and things like that. And I know I'm going to probably take a trip to Freedom Hill sometime. Renee's going to be on the show tonight to tell us about all that. Yes,
we have a jam-packed show tonight. We have Jo Beth Bowers, who is filed to run for Maryland House of Delegates in District 36, 35A, not 36. We also have Cecil County Teacher of the Year, Staci Lamb. We have Renee, as you mentioned. We have Wendy Evans from the Northeast United Methodist Church to talk about an event called Share Your Cares. And then finally, last but not least, of course, we have two young women named Nicole and Olayide from Drug Free Cecil, and they are soon-to-be graduates of Cecil County Public Schools.
And that's just our Monday's show. Cecil TV is on 5 days a week, Comcast 190.
And very soon, Armstrong 225 at 6 p.m., hence 30 at 6. Now for the news. Cecil County Primary Election Candidates Forum is on Monday, May 14th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. in the Milburn Stone Theater at Cecil College. The forum will feature Republican candidates for delegate in District 36 and Republican candidates for County Council in Districts 2, 3, and 4. The event is free and open to the public. The Maryland Coalition for Families, STEPS Recovery Resources, and Let's Get Real LLC will be hosting a family festival called Fun for Families at Merchant Social in Northeast from 1 to 5 p.m. on Saturday, May 12th. Tickets are $10 for adults and free for children. The investigation continues into the exact cause of Saturday's two-vehicle crash that left one man dead and one man flown by medevac to University of Maryland shock trauma with injuries. The accident occurred on Route 1 near Red Pump Road when a Kia Cephia, driven by 79-year-old Mr. Cecil Atwood of Rising Sun, left the road, struck the guardrail, and crossed the opposing lane, where it was struck by a pickup truck driven by Mr. Eric Carpenter, 52, of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Mr. Atwood was pronounced dead at the scene. Any witnesses to the crash are asked to contact the Maryland State Police Northeast Barrack. Creative electioneering has always been a hallmark of Cecil County politics, but gaining an advantage over your opponent moved into the cyber realm this weekend in the Council District 4 race. By his own admission, candidate Ed Larson purchased the expired internet domain name of his opponent George Patchell as a way to divert people to his campaign website. This redirection has now been disabled. Perhaps this particular use of the World Wide Web was not envisioned by its inventor, Tim Berners-Lee, who on this day in 1993 released the source code for the World Wide Web into the public domain. Berners-Lee is quoted as saying, "I hope we will use the net to cross barriers and connect cultures." 30 at 6 will continue after these important messages.
I'm home! Wow, it's hot in here.
Grandma says call the Moon Man.
Moon Man, the AC is out and my family is melted!
At your service! There you go! Mission accomplished!
Thanks, Moon Man!
The house is nice and cool again. Moon Man, you're awesome. You're welcome! Just go to moonair8.com. For out of this world service, moonair8.com.
Kevin Urich is a candidate for state's attorney.
I ask for your help protecting the elderly. Too often seniors suffer physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial exploitation, abandonment, and neglect. When elected state's attorney, I will advocate for the elderly. I will bring together police, social workers, nurses, doctors, and others dedicated to protecting and caring for the elderly. I am Kevin Urich, and I approved this message.
Paid for by friends of Kevin Urich, Vicki Richards, Treasurer.
Hello, I'm Alison Donnelly for Cecil TV. I'm here with Jesse Colvin, who's running for Congress in the 1st District of Maryland. Jesse, you served 6 years for the U.S. Army. How will you apply those skills and lessons to serving in Congress?
Oh, that's a great question. A couple different ways. So the first thing is you learn in the military boots on the ground. If you want to get ground truth, you got to go to the folks on the ground. So here in Cecil, for example, the county really is ground zero for a lot of the issues that we're trying to address across the district. Opioids epidemic, jobs, health of the Bay, and the jobs related to the Bay. So in the last week, for example, we've had a chance to sit down with some of the mayors in the county. Everything as small as town with 463 people to a town with 15,000. And then the other thing is the military teaches you leadership, it teaches you how to be part of a team, and it teaches you how to follow and when to do both. So that's what we're trying to apply to the campaign.
So about the opioid crisis, what is your strategy for dealing with that issue, and how will you hold pharmaceutical companies accountable?
So this is interesting. So we're in Cecil. There is a suit brought by the county. So the suits are here. I think where Congress can really be helpful is Congress has the power of the pulpit and the power of the TV camera. So to hold hearings reminiscent of the tobacco hearings several decades ago. The answers are out there. There is no silver bullet, but the answers are out there. It's prevention, it's treatment, it's recovery. It's having some really tough conversations with the pharmaceutical companies, but also with our brothers and sisters in the medical community. And things like, if we're going to do treatment, we have to recognize that the Betty Ford model that worked for alcohol of 30 days just doesn't work here. So it's going to be some really tough conversations about resources. It's going to cost resources, and having them in our local neighborhoods.
You've talked about protecting the Bay. How will you find common ground with farmers on that issue?
I think farmers are the original stewards of the environment. If I came here and just talked about the sediment situation at Conowingo Dam, I'd go down to Salisbury and, Jesse, what about chicken litter? If I just talked about chicken litter, commercial fishermen would ask, what about the bunker fish population? We landed on 10 billion oysters. We want to achieve 10 billion oysters in the Bay by 2025. That will have phenomenal environmental impacts and phenomenal economic impacts. I just reject the idea that what's good for the environment and what's good for the economy are mutually exclusive. I think they're absolutely intersect together.
You have 5 other primary opponents. What sets you apart?
Well, I like to think we have a great message. We have a great campaign. We have a really good candidate. I like to think, but more than that. So in Cecil, for example, we've been endorsed and are working very closely with a fantastic group on the ground here. It's the Cecil County Progressive Caucus. These are folks who turned out over 1,000 votes for Bernie Sanders in the 2016 election, which is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Right.
So on the ground, we're just running a really smart, lean campaign. We're fortunate enough yesterday in the Baltimore Sun, there was an op-ed in support of our campaign from General Wesley Clark, who was a presidential candidate in 2004 and a former NATO commander. So we're gaining steam, we're gaining momentum. The idea here is this is a fantastic place. Our district is a fantastic place to raise a family, and there are traditions that go back generations here. We just have to give our kids a reason to stay. That's jobs of the future like solar and cyber, and address the urgent issues of today, which is the opioids epidemic. It's protecting the 54,000 people rely on the Affordable Care Act, and it's getting to 10 billion oysters.
So if you win the primary, how will you get Republicans in District 1 to vote for you?
Well, I'm an Army Ranger, and I served 4 combat deployments to Afghanistan, and my wife happens to be a Republican. So we're going to go to every VFW, every American Legion, every Fraternal Order of Police. My wife used to be a law enforcement officer. We're just going to have a conversation.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Charles. For 30 years, I have been practicing functional medicine and gentle chiropractic. Elkton Chiropractic Neurology is dedicated to enhancing whole body rejuvenation, whether or not you are afflicted with injury or disease. We utilize a structural, neurologic, metabolic, nutritional, and energetic approach to restoring your body to its full potential.
After coming to Dr. Charles, I'm better than I was before.
You deserve to feel good and to have an active lifestyle, so why not call Elkton Chiropractic Neurology today?
I'm here with Staci Lamb. She's the 2018 Cecil County Public Schools Teacher of the Year, and she's here in the studio with us tonight. Staci, thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks so much for having me.
So you're a language arts teacher at Elkton High School.
Yep.
How long have you been teaching in Cecil County?
This is my 5th year, and I've been in Cecil County ever since I graduated from UD. So
great.
Yep.
So what is so important about teaching?
I just think, and I'll say it all the time, I just think it's the best job ever. And I think there's just so much value in what we can accomplish with our kids because, and I know everyone says it, but they're like the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're our future. And I just love what I do. And I just think it's so crucial to have people who love teaching and to just foster positive relationships with our kids because it's going to lead to just so much greatness going forward.
How do you share your enthusiasm with your students and help keep them motivated?
So my kids will tell you any day of the week that I'm corny, and I have no qualms like going in and just doing whatever I have to do. I will dress up however I need to dress up. I will put face paint on. There was one time that we were learning about Tide Pods because the kids they kept eating Tide Pods, and so
I hope none of your students
yeah, no, they did. Well, because we read an article about Tide Pods and why you shouldn't eat them, and so one day they were coming in and I had this huge Tide Pod box from like Walmart and I was just standing in the Tide Pod box and one of my students, Kayla, walked up and she just said like, you know what, I'm not even surprised, Miss Lamb, that you're in a Tide Pod box because I wouldn't expect anything less. And so I just try to be weird and I try to be random and just catch them off guard because the second like they expect something or they expect normalcy, then, you know, they might not be as engaged.
Right.
So I just do whatever I can, whatever like limit I have to go to make it weird and crazy and magical.
That's awesome. How do you help parents? How can parents get their students prepared for learning?
So I think one thing that would really benefit our students is study skills, even things like having note cards at home they can just run through and turn it into a game if they want to. There are so many like headband games that you can do and just hold up a note card, make it, you know, a little family game night, but it's studying.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to focus on next year with my freshman academy team is just getting more parents involved and just getting them to come to the school. And even if it's for a back to school night, we were even talking about having like a G-Wing night since we're in the G-Wing.
Oh, right.
And just inviting the families in and just kind of building and fostering more positive relationships so they see what we're trying to do and then we can just turn to them and say, hey, here's what you can do to help us and just really
make
focus
them part
on
of it.
Yeah, exactly, and focus on the community and the relationships, you know, even both inside and outside the classroom next year.
What is the Freshman Academy?
So the Freshman Academy, in each of the high schools there, the freshmen are divided into either, well, we have 2 academies at Elkton. We have the upstairs academy and the downstairs academy. And it's basically the kids are in 45-minute classes and they all have the same English, math, science, and government teachers. So that every day we get to meet about our kids and talk about, you know, who's doing really well, who do we need to focus on, who can we call down and have a little meeting with. And it's just a way, it's like a kind of like a community within the school, but for our kids. And I really think it helps transition them from middle school into high school and like gets them ready and they meet a bunch of friends in there because they're all, you know, they're kind of just rotating throughout the same classes. And it's a chance for the teachers as well to build really strong relationships. I mean, my academy team, we just do the craziest things together. Even the other day, we all had matching T-shirts that said cram on it because we were like cramming the books and like we just do like, it's just like, I really, really support the Freshman Academy environment for our kids and for teachers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you hope to accomplish through this position you have as Teacher of the Year?
Well, I'm still learning everything that comes with the title, and I don't know, I keep going back to this magic of teaching phrase, and I really just want people to see it. Because after I won, after my speech, everyone kept asking me, like, do you really love teaching that much? Like, how do you love your job that much? And it would just be like people that would, you know, see out and they're like, oh, I have 1 kid and I can't imagine dealing with 70. But there's just so much magic in teaching. And I hope to, you know, I hope the kids realize that and I hope the parents realize that. And throughout this year, I hope, you know, all of the, like, if there's any educators out there who are, you know, might struggle, like, I hope they can find it again and just, you know, I don't know, I just want to do whatever I can to be whatever the Teacher of the Year encompasses. I hope, you know, I hope I make them proud.
That's amazing. So you mentioned, well, I know that you go next to compete with the other county Teachers of the Year. So what else goes with this title?
So with the Maryland State Teacher of the Year, I have to fill out another application, and then I think that gala is in October. But every year, Kelly O'Hara, she won in 2015, and she is in my wing at Elkton High School.
Oh, right.
And so she sent me a list of everything that I'll be doing, and there's like one thing a month, like an event. And I know next week or 2 weeks from now, I have to go to the Board of Education, in which they announced the new superintendent for Cecil County, and I know I have to go to that, and I just know, like, on my calendar it's like filling up. You know, before it was just kind of blank, like not much going on, and now there's just like so many things going on. So I'm still, learning through it what everything is going to entail.
Yeah. Well,
but I'll be busy.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
And congratulations.
Thanks.
Why should you advertise on Cecil.tv? Because it is a totally new and unique way to reach the thousands of viewers that watch our programming. Plus, you'll be helping us grow as we expand our coverage. We have exciting plans, and your business or organization can be part of it. You will find our packages and rates to be refreshingly affordable, and we'll work with you to create a fresh and dynamic ad that says and shows what your business is about. Ask us how to get your commercial produced for free, so contact us on our website, Cecil.tv, or send an email to info@Cecil.tv. Thank you.
And now 30 at 6 continues with Wendy Evans, Missions Coordinator for Northeast Methodist Church. Welcome, Wendy.
Thank you very much.
And you are on a mission yourself. You have something to tell our viewers about coming up, not this weekend, but the next?
I do. We are having a program at Northeast United Methodist Church. We've been doing it for about 5 years. It's called Share Your Care. It's always the second Saturday of May, so this year will be May 12th.
Right, we're currently approaching tonight's show, the first Saturday in May. So you're getting your message out early.
Yes.
That's great.
In hopes of getting more people to come out and enjoy the day.
What is Share Your Care all about?
Share Your Care is just an opportunity. It's kind of three-pronged. It's an opportunity to get help organizations together to be able to network with one another, which we've seen a lot of, and it's been very beneficial, I think. Or at least that's what I've been told from the different organizations. It's an opportunity for people who have needs to come out and find resources. Over the years, we've developed it more and more. We've learned things that we need to get incorporated into the program. So now we have food distributions for families in need, as well as free haircuts available.
Wow.
And then it's also an opportunity for people to come and find a way to get plugged in. You know, you're looking for something to do with your time. You want to be able to volunteer your time. Here's all the different types of organizations that you can get involved with to be able to volunteer.
So you have given a call to nonprofits and faith-based and other volunteer groups to come out and set up little tables and maybe sign people up for their groups. Also give what they have to give to the folks who are attending.
You got it.
And a good time will be had by all, and everyone will be uplifted.
That's the hope.
That sounds great. And we're going to have perfect weather, because my phone tells me the weather's going to be smooth sailing from here on in.
That's what I'm hoping. We've had good weather for many of them. However, we've also had some rain. So even when it's a rainy day, last year it ended up pouring on us, and we found a way to squeeze everybody inside. So how we did it, I don't know, but God provided the space, and we were still able to do our food distribution. We were still able to have the free haircuts, and all the different organizations were in-house.
Well, Northeast Methodist Church is a big church.
It's a fair size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the second Saturday in May. Now, as missions coordinator, what else does your missions team do?
We try to find different ways to go out into the community, but also we do missions work. There's usually a group that goes for about a week or two in the summertime. The last few years they went into Kentucky, or down to Kentucky, I should say. This year, however, we're staying in the community and actually finding different projects to do within the community, and our youth pastor's heading that up. We also have a short-term missions trip that we do each year for those that maybe can't take a full week off to be able to go away. It's a little closer to home, and it's one weekend, usually in September, to a place called Jill's House, where we work with kids with special needs for the weekend to kind of act as a respite care for families. We also just had our Deeper Life Crusade, which is just an opportunity and outreach for people to come into our church, and we provided a meal, we provided childcare, and then we had services with praise and worship music as well as a speaker each night. So we have a variety of different types of programs that we run to try and provide for the community.
That sounds like it keeps you really busy.
It does.
But you also have a full-time job, correct?
Yes, I do. I am a counselor at Rising Sun High School, where I've been since 2003. February.
All right.
Yeah.
Doing good work wherever you go.
I try.
Right. And now, again, speaking of, Wendy gives so much, viewers out there. She's going to be setting up the tables for the event Share Your Care, second Saturday in May at 8 o'clock. So come on out and help her set up.
Yeah, feel free. That'd
and
be great.
Attend.
Yes, that'd be
Did
wonderful.
we miss anything?
I don't think so. As long as we have people coming out and bring your friends, bring your kids, enjoy hopefully a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. So.
Amen. And don't miss Share Your Care.
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'm home. Wow, it's hot in here.
Grandma says call the Moon Man.
Moon Man, the AC is out and my family is melted.
At your service. There you go. Mission accomplished.
Thanks, Moon Man.
The house is nice and cool again. Moon Man, you're awesome. You're welcome. Just go to moonair8.com. For out of this world service, moonair8.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Charles. For 30 years, I have been practicing functional medicine and gentle chiropractic. Elkton Chiropractic Neurology is dedicated to enhancing whole body rejuvenation, whether or not you are afflicted with injury or disease. We utilize a structural, neurologic, metabolic, nutritional, and energetic approach to restoring your body to its full potential.
After coming to Dr. Charles, I'm better than I was before.
You deserve to feel good and to have an active lifestyle, so why not call Elkton Chiropractic Neurology today?
And now, we weren't kidding when we said we had an action-packed show. It continues at 30th on 6. Cecil County Drug Free Community Coalition has 2 youth sector leaders, and we have them both here with us tonight. Olayide and Nicole. Nicole, why don't you get things started by telling us what the coalition has as an overarching mission?
Sure. So the coalition's main goal is to reduce substance use among youth, and we try to do that with obviously the youth sector leaders, and that's what our job is, to kind of give our insight to the coalition, and for us to help them figure out what the best way to go about that is.
And this coalition, you're the youth representatives, but it also includes members of the health department and other organizations as well, correct?
Right. So we have, for example, we have faith-based organizations, youth-serving organizations, we have a parent volunteer who comes in and talks to. We have people, like you said, from the health department, and just a bunch of people from throughout the community that come together to help fix this issue.
Well, everybody talks about the opioid epidemic. That's almost as much of a tongue twister as what you said previously. But it's true. And anything that we can do to work together as a community to help reduce all this is great. Now, I know one of the things, Olayide, we were talking about, one of the points that you guys do is offer alternative activities to youth. And Nicole, I know you said you sing for Elkton, and Olayide, something that's near and dear to me. You're involved in track and field, right?
Yes, I am. I've been a part of the team for 4 seasons now. I started junior year with indoor, and I've committed to it for the past 2 years, and it's been some of the best times of my life. And like, I see kids like join the track team, and like, my coach's motto is "We are a family." So I'm like the captain for the throwers, so I'm looking at as like a team mom. So like, my kids come and talk to me. I call them my kids, and it's a great time, and I'm really sad to be leaving them after this season, but like having track is just, it's like a way to like get your anger out. Sometimes if you're like feeling stressed, like you can just go run it out, or you can throw it out. So track has been a huge stress reliever for me.
With alternative activities is something that's very important. And you mentioned commitment. You're both committed to your schoolwork. Nicole, you said something about a scholarship, or you're looking for a scholarship?
Yeah, so both Olayide and I are currently looking for scholarships for our colleges. I'm attending West Virginia University, and
I'm attending Johns Hopkins University.
Wow, so you guys are on the right path, and being drug-free helped get you there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Correct, and commitment helped get you there. Commitment to academics. It's very important. I'm sure I don't have to say that to you because that's what got you sitting right here today. Nicole, you mentioned you were involved in one of your favorite courses was psychology.
Psychology, yes. I absolutely love psychology, and it's a great experience, and our school has an awesome program that is connected to Cecil College. So we have an actual professor from Cecil College come in and teach us at the school. So we have that class every Monday and Thursday in the morning, and we get real life college experience. We get lectures every Monday and Thursday. He comes in and teaches us. Right now we're learning about disorders and things like that, so it's really fun.
That kind of ties in with your work in the Community Drug Free Coalition.
Yeah, definitely.
Or the Cecil County Drug Free Community Coalition.
Right.
And that sports mentality and all the good things that come with being involved in the sports team too. So these are what your third point in your coalition is: early and persistent pro-social behavior. Kind of both of those things. You help each other out. You have a team ethic. What do you say to somebody? I'll leave either of you to answer this or both. What do you say to somebody you see going down the wrong road?
So I think the best thing to do, and especially like what I try to do, is kind of give them the resources that we have available, and us being in the coalition is definitely beneficial because we know where to get those resources and the people that are directly linked to those resources as well. So I think just connecting them with the help that is available to them is definitely a great idea, and just kind of being there for them, helping to be that support system for that person is definitely a good thing to do.
So maybe some of your students in your high school, you might help them out in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But aren't you doing something with young kids too?
Yeah. So Nicole and I, through our youth I have our coalition and we have our different sector leaders, and one is Beth Creek, and she runs the nonprofit Youth Empowerment Source. And one of the things that Youth Empowerment Source does every summer is run a camp called Camp Activate. And me and Nicole had the privilege of working there last summer. And it's basically a free camp for 5 weeks for students going into 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And it's just an opportunity for them to have somewhere safe to be while their parents are working during the day. And like each week we teach them like a different science and a different sport, and then we have our math. So just like being there and like being with the kids in our community, because we were placed at Thompson, so these are the kids that are directly like in our areas. I would see them all the time at football games. They recognize me, and it's just like being with them that summer. It just shows that how they need like positive role models, and they need like mentors, which we ended up having to be. And some of these kids, they don't grow up in the best environment. So like working for camp that summer, it just like opened my eyes up and like showed how like prevention starts off from like the younger ages, and like just being there for the kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
And I know especially with Camp Activate, like not only do we reach out to those kids who need us, but we also build great relationships with the people that we work with. And they're also members of the community as well. So just building those connections and getting to know people is also great.
Well, did we miss anything?
Camp Activate definitely needs more funding because we're trying to bring as many kids to camp as possible, and just making sure that there is that safe environment for as many kids. So I'm sure you can go on Facebook, and there's the Youth Empowerment Source Facebook page, and there's a way for you to donate on there. $250 is the cost for one kid to attend camp. So just trying to push that out there so we can get as many kids in as possible.
Well, I'm glad I asked that question. And thank you both for coming to 30 at 6, and thank you both for the work that you're doing.
Definitely, thank you so much.